So I've covered the sprites of the original and international releases of the first and second gen games of Pokemon. Does that mean I can finally move to the third gen? Of course. Pokemon Yellow version was the final first gen main series game, telling the story of Red, Blue, and Green version all over again, but with a twist. Elements are now like the anime. However, one other big change was the overhaul of sprites, which were praised by fans to finally look like the official artwork after the retry with the international releases. So you would think with so much focus on sprite designs, they would look all pristine and be unworthy of a video criticizing them. Nope, plenty of sprites showed that the Game Boy engine could not handle some sprites quite as cleanly. Others were accurate, but just kind of funny looking. So in this video, I'm going to review the top sprites that may have been a bit too ambitious when upgrading the older designs. So let's go. It's my top 10 weirdest sprites from Pokemon Yellow version. Number 10. Poliwrath. I love Poliwrath and I enjoy this sprite. Various Poliwrath sprites show him in an action pose, punching or getting pumped up like a fighter. However, this sprite has him as Tarzan. It looks like he's swinging on a vine toward the player, which is somewhat ironic that he's grabbing on to an element he's weak against. He's still angry though, so he keeps that tradition of Poliwrath alive. Number 9. Golbat. Okay, what's going on here? In the game just before this one, Golbat was a terrifying beast that thought it was Gene Simmons. Now he's airborne, I guess. Compared to Zubat, he's not even flying like a normal bat. It looks like someone just whacked him with a broom. Maybe it was using sonar and there was an obstruction in the way that startled him, so he was all, whoa whoa, not crashing into that today. It's like someone at Game Freak thought this sprite was too scary for the kids, so they made a new one that was as underwhelming as possible, like if Magikarp had wings. Number 8. Muck. Is it me, or does it look like Muck has a vertical line for a pupil? He has like a snake eye. Overall, he looks more like a ghost phasing through a wall rather than a sludge monster melting through a town's sewer pipe. The end of him is almost ethereal, like in a ghastly sprite. This Muck seems a bit messier than the average Muck, leaving a trail behind him. Stay in one gooey piece like your peers. Or maybe he's leaping toward me for a hug. Wait, I don't want that. Number 7. Articuno. I'm not quite sure if the Gen 1 sprite artists knew how to design Articuno's feet, considering the red, blue, and green sprites had them completely covered by his tail feather, which is actually a good look for him. However, here with its feet in yellow version, I'm not sure what's going on. I think a bunch of pixels just kinda congregated here. I know that's supposed to be his feet, but it looks like... yeah... Well, this sprite should be proud. I could not find a silly comparison to bring up. Number 6. Slowbro. This sprite looks exactly like Slowbro, so there's nothing wrong with the design. The sprite is unusual since it's the only sprite or really official image with Slowbro where he is not blissfully happy. This Slowbro gained awareness of the world and is not ignorant to everything around him. Oh my god, I'm actually standing. And there's a shell with painfully sharp teeth biting my tail. And I've been experiencing blood loss for 20 minutes. Number 5. Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime has always been a weird-looking Pokemon, but the accuracy of this sprite is also pretty good. However, one weird yet awesome thing I liked about this sprite is the pose. Mr. Mime, being a psychic Pokemon, is more about making invisible walls rather than giving you the old right hook. However, this Mr. Mime is ready to punch you right in the chin. The hand not making a fist is also cool. While it may look like he's making an invisible wall and leaning on it, which is probably what's really going on, it looks like he's doing a Dragon Ball Z pose, like he's releasing the Genki Dama or Spirit Bomb, or to be incredibly specific, this one pose by Cooler in his ultimate attack in Raging Blast 2. Make Mr. Mime part fighting type. Number 4. Rapidash. Have you ever looked at something and thought, this should not be on fire? Well, Rapidash is supposed to be on fire since it's a fire stallion unicorn hybrid, but the yellow sprite was trying really hard to make an action running pose, causing it to look a bit abnormal. It kind of looks like it was made of wax or something and then lit on fire, since it looks like we're witnessing it melting in this sprite. It may just be me, but this sprite has always looked a bit lumpy. I do like the pose itself though, even though it resembles more of a normal horse that was accidentally lit on fire, panicking to put out the flames. No wait, no, I don't like that backstory, it sounds too tragic. Number 3. Clefable. Clefable needs to stop looking off to the side. Its face is gonna pop right off its body. In fact, its face looks like it's taking up about half of its body. At least compared to the red and blue sprites, its proportions are a bit off and yellow. It also appears to have gotten flatter, just slightly. I'm really interested to know what's so amazing off-screen that this Clefable sprite is looking at. Based on its face, it looks like a child about to receive a balloon, or maybe a hungry patron at a restaurant as the waiter brings out his or her food. Clefairy did not fare too well in the new sprite either, since its body is all face basically. However, it could not compare with the excitement of the Clefable sprite. My goal is to one day be as happy as this Clefable is in its sprite. Number 2. Onix. What is Onix doing? His red and blue sprite was accurate. He had this menacing stare, and he was angled like he was taller than anything you could throw out there. In yellow version, he rotated his body about 180 degrees, and is just kind of looking. He looks somewhat shocked at something. Like his trainer just told Onix that this Raticate he's about to fight likes to eat stones. Or that the sink in the bathroom was broken so he could not wash his hands after using the restroom. Or like he's trying to poke Onix with a wet sponge. No! Stop it! I'm allergic. We're going legendary for number 1. Mewtwo. So the first thing I noticed is Mewtwo is pelvic thrusting in this sprite. He's bringing it around town. He really pulls off the maneuver well since his arms are pulled back to give him the proper momentum to make his chest and abdomen the focal point of this sprite. Not quite the pose I would expect from the Pokemon trying to emphasize his intelligence. Maybe if Mewtwo was a showboating wrestler, I would understand. The other note I have on this sprite? What's up with his second spinal cord? As you may know, Mewtwo has a second spinal cord for increased blood flow and such to heighten his psychic power, but it usually curves from the shoulder blade area to the back of the neck. Here it's almost going down to his tailbone, or at least lower than it was in the other Gen 1 sprites. You cannot confirm exactly how low it is, since they reused the back sprite from the Japanese red and green version. Maybe that's why he's pushing his abdomen out so much. It hurts to bend forward. Remember, it's all in the hips. So Mewtwo's yellow version sprite. The weirdest and probably also funniest and most unexpected sprite in the game. So what do you think? Are there any yellow version sprites that have always stood out to you? Let me know. Now that I've had videos on sprites from each of the first 2 generations of main series games, does that mean 3rd gen sprites are eventually coming? Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.